and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Angie and I'm a chemist who loves makeup. And today we're going to be reacting to Liza Koshys' nighttime skincare routine. So I'm going to look at her routine from my perspective as a chemist and give you my thoughts on it. I've seen Skincare by Hiram, I've seen Susan Yara from Mix Makeup do this, and I really love their videos, and so I thought it'd be really interesting to give you what my perspective is. So if that sounds interesting to you, we're just gonna get right into watching her video.
So the first thing that I use Saint Laurent cleansing water. Girl, it's a full ass bottle. Yeah, it is. So that's because this is a new product. But yeah, I'm actually about to try it for the very first time right now because it's a brand new product and I just got this. So normally I use my Saint Laurent Gentle Makeup Removal Wipes. These are bomb. Bomb as hell. I don't have cotton pads right now. I only have toilet paper, surprisingly. Actually, I'm only going to use this because I definitely need this for my apply a healthy dose.
So the product that she's using to remove her makeup is the Saint Laurent cleansing water. So you use something like a makeup wipe or like a cleansing water or a cleansing oil because things do not just rinse off with water. If it was that easy, you wouldn't need this. Oils work because they help break down things that are attracted to oil, but not everything is attractive to oil. Something like an oil, not necessarily something that is water soluble. So in this case, she is using a product which contains what we refer to as surfactants. And these surfactants work because, as you know, water and oil don't mix, and this can interact with both substances in order to remove it off your skin. Find surfactants in shampoos, detergent, anything for like cleaning is a common way to think of a surfactant. And one end of the surfactant will have what we call a hydrophilic end, meaning it loves water, so it'll attach to water. And then there's hydrophobic end, which does not like water and is going to mix with those oil type of substances. And by attaching to that, you can then rinse off your face and remove it. And this will help remove the dirt, the makeup, the oil that can't just be rinsed away with just water. So in this case, you aren't rinsing them off, but you're using a cotton pad. In this case, she uses toilet paper or something or some sort. And that may not be the most effective method. I know she does go in with a makeup wipe after. I would probably use some sort of cleanser. Things are going to be left behind. You can't take them all away with a cotton pad. So this particular cleansing water I wouldn't use because it does contain aloe vera leaf juice pretty high up in the formula, as well as the makeup wipes. And I actually have had a very bad reaction to it before. If you heard about the Yes to unicorn mask and how people were getting burns or red skin because of that, I had a very similar reaction to another one of their masks. And so I think I had a very poor reaction to the leaf juice because that was the only common denominator between that and some other makeup wipes from Burgs that I tried. So I personally wouldn't use it, but that is a personal reaction. And if it doesn't cause irritation on your skin, it's not a big deal.
All right, next stop. Yeah, it's a hydration station, but it's a face mask. This is one of my favorite masks. It's called Refreshing, and the embroidery is so you exfoliate, rub it all in, then you leave it on for 15 minutes, and this way you hydrate. I do this about like 2-3 times a week. I swear I could just like squeeze this on a piece of toast and eat it, but don't do that because I'm not in the mood for a lawsuit. You can legit see the strawberry seeds. What? Skincare and color cosmetics is such an unregulated industry. They can put damn near anything in your products. You should really read the back of them.
So I'm just going to cut in really fast because this is a very highly widespread, I'm going to say a half myth. So there is a lot of improvement that needs to be done in terms of regulating cosmetics. That I can agree with. But to say that there is very little regulation or no regulation isn't true. Companies have whole regulatory departments that have to ensure that the products meet certain regulations. And I'm going to actually link to a podcast from the EcoWell. She is a cosmetic scientist and interviews people, and this particular one is going to be about regulations, so you can learn more about how cosmetics are regulated. And I can't blame someone like Liza who is just using these products, or that's not her background, to know this, and I'm really glad that people are looking more into ingredients. That's what my whole channel is about. But it is important to look for good sources and not just look at the first thing that pops up on Google when you Google an ingredient. Look at safety studies, look to scientists. There's more and more of them popping up online, rants over. So we're gonna talk about the face mask / scrub that she's using. So this is a hydrating / physical exfoliation mask. So the physical exfoliants in here are sucrose, so it's a sugar scrub. If you're using a physical exfoliant, the benefit to something like a sugar scrub, in this case it's sucrose, is going to be that it's going to dissolve in water. You're not going to have to entirely scrub it off of your face, like for instance what you would do with a coffee scrub, in order to remove it, because it will dissolve in the water and it will rinse off easier. So this product also does have the strawberry seeds in there and walnut powder. So these two are not going to dissolve in the water, and there's not a lot of them in this formula. They are lower down the list. Most of your exfoliation is going to come from that sucrose. There's also good things like sunflower and olive oil, and these are going to help hydrate your skin. So there's also surfactants in there, so they may help cleansing a little, but I have a feeling they are mostly to just ensure that those water-soluble layers and the oil-soluble layers mix. This wouldn't be something you regularly use as a cleanser. I know a lot of people usually use that St. Ives scrub, which probably is similar. I don't think this is a bad product if you want a physical exfoliator, but I wouldn't use this if my intention was to get hydration out of it. I think you'd be better off using a thicker moisturizer with more occlusive ingredients, or to use something like a sleeping mask, which you don't have to rinse off and can get absorbed by your skin. A rinse-off product isn't on there very long, so the benefit that they're going to have for you isn't going to be as much as it would be with a leave-on product.
So, I do a second mask because I have the time to, because I'm very bored and single. Brosafina. I love this charcoal mask. It is the smoothest.
I love clay masks.
Check it. Yeah, this is dope. I deserve this. Like when it feels this good when I do it every night.
Don't do it every night. Do not do it.
So thick. Like that consistency, that pigment though. Bam! 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 That feels amazing. It's pan. And when it dries too, you can already see it drying.
Alright, so let's look at this mask. So this is a purifying charcoal clay mask. So charcoal is used a lot because it's believed to draw out impurities. Charcoal is a really trendy ingredient for purifying skin. It doesn't really have a whole lot of benefit in skincare. Obviously, it is used for poison victims internally, but that is not what we're doing here. But it's not going to cause harm either. So I don't think there's any harm in putting it in there. But the real benefit comes from the clay ingredients in here. So in here, they have kaolin, magnesium aluminum silicate, and bentonite. So these are all clay-like ingredients. And the way that these clay-like ingredients work in masks is they have differently charged surfaces, and this helps draw things from the skin, impurities as they like to call them, but really these clays don't know what it should take and what it shouldn't take. And using this variety of clays is good because they do pull things from the skin in different ways, so this helps maximize what it is drawing off of your face. I made a whole video about clay masks in particular. I will link it up above if you want to check that out. And in this mask that Liza is using, there's lactic acid, there's salicylic acid. These are really good for chemically exfoliating, but you don't leave this on very long and you do rinse it off, so I'm not really sure how effective these ingredients are, but in leave-in products, these are going to help exfoliate the skin. So this is definitely a mask targeted for more oily skin. Clays do pull oils off the skin too, so you will be a little drier. It is important to replenish your skin using a good moisturizer. I would definitely be willing to try this mask. I think it's at a great price point.
Something I do like twice a week is shave Stacy my stash. So I do use Dr. Bronner's 4-in-1 lavender organic sugar soap. I use this for my body in the shower, sometimes for my face in the shower. I use it for my hands, face, hair, literally pretty much everywhere. Best wholesome clean ingredients in here too. All organic, all fair trade. I just love good people. So yeah, take a little bit of this. Put it on Stacy.
So this soap is apparently really popular with a lot of people. I personally probably wouldn't use it on my face or my hair. So she is using a soap here in order to, I'm guessing, to kind of help. It's like similar to using like a body wash before you shave your legs, so I'm assuming that's what she's doing is the same thing. Personally, I would not use this like she says to wash my face and my hair, maybe for the body, but a lot of times soaps in particular dry out the skin. If it works for people, great, but that's just not my jam. So fun fact, soap is in its own separate category. It is not considered a cosmetic. You can only say it's for the purpose of cleansing. You can't market any moisturizing, any other sort of benefits. It has to be solely for the purpose of cleaning to be considered a soap. So if you look at the ingredients listing, it's seems very basic. It says sucrose, white grape juice, vegetable oil, coconut oil, potassium hydroxide. So there's not anything that's a surfactant in here because it's not a cleanser, it's a soap. So soap will use a process of what is called saponification. So these oils are mixed with this potassium hydroxide. So these vegetable oils have these fatty acids attached to the end of them. And by using potassium hydroxide, which is a base, it's an alkali ingredient, and using heat and pressure to help start this reaction, these fatty acids are separated from the glycerin in the vegetable oil, and it's going to convert them to a fatty acid salt, which is soap. So that is why on the list you will not see any surfactants. Like I said, if it works for her, great. It's just not a product that I would personally use all over my face. I would much rather use a cleanser with surfactants that are intended specifically for the skin on my face.
If I'm having a breakout, which I have a lot of it over here, what it is, I use blemish treatment acne pads by Seymour. These are, say it with me, boom. They are these nice little pads. It clears up my skin. It never burns. That's when you go to pimple treatment, it just like burns. This one does not. It's so gentle.
These are going to be pads that are treated with 2% salicylic acid. So salicylic acid, when it's used for acne treatment, is considered a drug product. So there are limits to how much you can put in there. So in this case, they are using 2% salicylic acid, and this helps exfoliate the skin to get rid of these blemishes. I personally really love salicylic acid as well. The basic ingredient of these pads is alcohol. They say it's organic. That's really interesting to me because I don't know how many people really care about their alcohol being organic, but you know, maybe there are some people. Like she said, she only uses them when she has a breakout. I think it's good not to regularly use them if you don't have a breakout. I prefer spot treatments myself, and because they are pads, they are probably not delivering as much as something like a spot treatment would, but also this doesn't have any film formers. So I have a feeling that these pads, if you have very minor acne, it's probably going to help. If you have bigger acne, this probably isn't going to do a whole lot for your skin. I think I've used pads like this in the past when I did have really bad acne when I was younger, and I don't think they really did anything because there wasn't really anything helping to seal in that salicylic acid. Although the concentration of it is 2%, you're not going to be putting as much on there. So I think this would be good for people with more mild acne if you don't want to over exfoliate with a spot treatment. So there's also lactic acid in here, also an exfoliant ingredient, but not used for acne treatment.
Alright, next step, we got oils. Vitamin E oil. You don't know how to say biossance. Angie. Bitch ham.
She cracks me up.
I love this. This is one of the best vitamin C oils. Yeah, I'm fine. I put a couple drops. Bop, bop. And then roll some balls on my face. Everybody has a face.
Alright, so let's break down both the Biossance Vitamin C oil and the massager. This particular oil is retailing for $72, which is a lot. So I think squalane is good, but for the purpose of vitamin C, I probably wouldn't buy this product. They do use a vitamin C derivative. The derivative they use is tetrahexyldecyl ascorbate. So ascorbic acid is a pure form of vitamin C. This is a derivative. Usually these will be more stable, but aren't usually as beneficial because of what the ascorbate is attached to. It's not going to release as easily to provide those benefits as pure ascorbic acid would. But ascorbic acid isn't very stable anyway in formulas. When they're exposed to air, they're exposed to light, they break down very easily and very quickly. It's really hard to get a good stable formula because it does deteriorate so quickly. So if a product like this works for people, great, but I feel like it's probably more from the squalane, and vitamin C is just not really an ingredient that I'm drawn to. I feel bad because I feel like I'm not liking a lot of these products, but I do like some of them. And the roller. So I have very strong opinions about rollers. A lot of these celebrity routines seem to use them. Hers is at least not very expensive, which I like. So if you want to use a roller, get an inexpensive one. A lot of the evidence is very anecdotal. I personally do not think that you need a roller. I don't think that that's going to really provide you any substantial benefits at all.
Then I put on, you guessed it, Seymour Gentle Moisture Lotion. Growing up, I had eczema, I had mollusca. If you don't know what that is, I'm not going to tell you because it's nasty. It's blood-filled pimples. And it's so nice to find a line that has everything that is clean and safe for your skin.
So that's always a funny thing that they say clean and safe for your skin. When products are advertised as non-toxic, it does kind of make me roll my eyes. And this is a fear-mongering tactic. If celebrities and influencers say this, I can't really fault them because this is the information that companies are feeding them. If a company says they're non-toxic, that leads you to believe that other companies are toxic. That is a fear-mongering tactic. I think it's more important to put scientific information out there for other people to find and not necessarily bash these people or discredit them, because this is information that they're being fed, and we just need people who are scientists to speak up a little more on this kind of stuff and kind of dispel some myths about commonly held beliefs about what's not safe in your products. And so now we're going to look into the moisturizer. So the second ingredient is almond oil. So this is probably going to be good for someone who has drier skin to help replenish that oil. It does seem very, very light. The cetyl alcohol is going to help hydrate as well as the glycerin. So I think this is going to be really good for a lightweight moisturizer. There's a lot of natural extracts in here, which I don't really consider a bonus, but as long as your skin doesn't have a reaction to them, I think that this is a good lightweight moisturizer.
There's a fun thing I started doing recently. I put a little bit of, you guessed it, it's their gentle lotion with SPF. What? Liza, it's nighttime. Yeah, ice. But guess who tries to sneak into your bed with you in the morning? The damn sun.
I think it is funny that Liza is wearing this at night. I guess she has maybe she likes to wake up with the sun, with her windows open. So she says she doesn't put on that much, but you need to put on, if you want to get the intended SPF, in this case it's SPF 30, you do have to put on 2 milligrams per centimeter squared of your face. But more simply, for your face and neck, that equates to about half of a teaspoon. So personally, I don't think there's a really big benefit to putting it on at night, especially if she says she doesn't put on as much, because she's not going to reach that SPF 30 coverage. It may not even be enough coverage to actually protect her in the morning when she wakes up. And this uses zinc oxide. This is what is called a physical sunscreen, or more so an inorganic sunscreen. And the other ingredients in there, there's hexadiol, so that's going to be a humectant. It's going to help keep her face hydrated, so that is a very good feature. I don't think there's any harm for her adding it.
And then if I'm really manifesting them out, I use this sugar lip scrub by Sarah Happ. And I take a little creepy pinky, rub it on my lips. Okay. My lips peel a lot.
This is also a sugar scrub, very much similar to the masks she was using earlier. So these sugar scrubs just have sugar, they have oil, some flavoring in them. Not a whole lot, but it's a physical exfoliant to get all that dead, gross skin off your lips.
And then I cop 2 of these. These are vegan and collagen boosting gummies. I take a lot of goodies because they're like my adult fruit snack package.
So I'm not really a big believer in supplements to help improve your hair or your nails or your skin. I feel a lot of them are overhyped. Biotin does have some benefit, but this doesn't have biotin in it. It has L-lysine, which is used to help build collagen in combination with the vitamin C and there's vitamin A. There's not very many ingredients on here, and you can achieve them through diet. And if I'm not sure if the amounts that they list on the nutritional facts are enough to benefit you over time. Unless you're deficient in something, vitamins probably aren't gonna help you see any benefits. I know a lot of people love them, and if you do, great. I am very, very skeptical of nutritional supplements for things like improving your skin, your hair, your nails. I feel like there's a lot of placebo effect going on. Check with your doctor, see what they say. Those are my thoughts on Liza Koshy's nighttime skincare routine. I was very entertained. She is very funny. So I know I didn't like most of the products, but I do think some of the products are good. Like the cleansing water, I think is a good first step. I think you still need to cleanse, but these are just my thoughts on it. If these products work for her or work for you or whoever, that's great. Love it. These are just my opinions on the product, and I just wanted to share them with you. So if you learned something today, don't forget to click the subscribe button so we can talk more about cosmetics, skincare, and the science behind them. And also comment down below if there's somebody else's routine that you think I should check out. And with that, I will see you in my next video. Bye!